Suzhou, formerly romanized as Soochow, is a major city located in southeastern Jiangsu province of East China, about 100 kilometers northwest of Shanghai. It is a major economic center and focal point of trade and commerce, and the second largest city in the province after its capital Nanjing. The city is situated on the lower reaches of the Yangtze River and the shores of Lake Tai and belongs to the Yangtze River Delta region. Administratively, Suzhou is a prefecture-level city with a population of 4.33 million in its city proper, and a total resident population of 10.58 million in its administrative area. Its urban population grew at an unprecedented rate of 6.5% between 2000 and 2014, which is the highest among cities with more than 5 million people. Founded in 514 BC, Suzhou has over 2,500 years of history, with an abundant display of relics and sites of historical interest. At around 100 AD, during the Eastern Han dynasty, it became one of the 10 largest cities in the world, mostly due to emigration from northern China. Since the 10th century Song dynasty, it has been an important commercial center of China. During the Ming and Qing dynasty, Suzhou was a national economic, cultural and commercial center, as well as the largest non-capital city in the world, until the 1860 Taiping Rebellion, when Li Hongzhang and Charles George Gordon recaptured the city 3 years later. Shanghai had already taken its predominant place in the nation. Since major economic reforms began in 1978, Suzhou has become one of the fastest-growing major cities in the world, with GDP growth rates of about 14% in the past 35 years. With high life expectancy and per capita incomes, Suzhou's Human Development Index ratings is roughly comparable to a moderately developed country, making it one of the most highly developed and prosperous cities in China. The city's canals, stone bridges, pagodas, and meticulously designed gardens have contributed to its status as one of the top tourist attractions in China. The classical gardens in Suzhou were added to the list of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites in 1997 and 2000. Suzhou is often dubbed the Venice of the East, or Venice of China. Etymology. The name Suzhou was first officially used for the city in AD 589 during the Tsøý dynasty. The character or is a contraction referring to nearby Mount Gusu. The Su in its name refers to the mint perilla. The character originally meant something like a province or county, but often came to be used metonymously for the capital of such a region. History. Suzhou, the cradle of Wu culture, is one of the oldest towns in the Yangtze Basin. By the spring and autumn period of the Zhou, local tribes named the Go were recorded living in the area which would become the modern city of Suzhou. These tribes formed villages on the edges of the hills above the wetlands surrounding Lake Tai. See McKeon's Records of the Grand Historian records traditional accounts that the Zhou Lord Tiber established the state of Wu at nearby Wuxi during the 11th century BC, civilizing the local people and improving their agriculture and mastery of irrigation. The Wu court later moved to Gusu within the area of modern Suzhou. This town was also known as Wu from the name of its kingdom. In 514 BC, King Helu of Wu established a new capital at Helu City. It was this site that grew into present-day Suzhou. In 496 BC, King Helu was buried at Tiger Hill. In 473 BC, Wu was defeated and annexed by Yu, a kingdom to its southeast. Yu was annexed in turn by Chu in 306 BC. Remnants of the ancient kingdom include pieces of its 2,500-year-old city wall and the gate through it at Pan Gate. During the Warring States period, the city was known as Wu County or Wu Commandery. Following the Qin Empire's conquest of the area in 222 BC, it was made the capital of Kuaiji. a commandery named for the reputed resting place of Yu the Great and including lands stretching from the south bank of the Yangtze to the unconquered interior of Minyu in southern Zhejiang. Amid the collapse of the Qin-Ku regime's governor Yintong attempted to organize his own rebellion only to be betrayed and executed by Xiang Liang and his nephew Xiang Yu, who launched their own rebellion from the city. When the Grand Canal was completed, Suzhou found itself strategically located on a major trade route. In the course of the history of China, it has been a metropolis of industry and commerce on the southeastern coast of China. During the Tang dynasty, the great poet Bai Juyi constructed the Shan Canal to connect the city with Tiger Hill for tourists. In AD 1035, the Suzhou Confucian Temple was founded by famed poet and writer Fan Zhongyan. It became a venue for the imperial civil examinations and then developed into the modern Suzhou High School in the 1910. In February of 1130, the advancing Jin army from the north ransacked the city. This was followed by the Mongol invasion in 1275. In 1356, Suzhou became the capital of Jiangsu, one of the leaders of the Red Turban Rebellion against the Yuan dynasty and the self-proclaimed King of Wu. In 1367, Zhang's Nanjing based rival Zhu Yuanzhang took the city after a 10-month siege. Zhu, who was soon to proclaim himself the first emperor of the Ming dynasty, demolished the royal city in the center of Suzhou's walled city and imposed crushing taxes on the city and prefecture's powerful families. Despite the heavy taxation and the resettlement of some of Suzhou's prominent citizens to the area of Hongwu's capital at Nanjing, Suzhou was soon prosperous again. During the early Ming, Suzhou Prefecture supervised the Yangtze Shoals, which later became Shanghai's Chongming Island. When the shipwrecked Korean official Chobu had a chance to see much of eastern China from Zhejiang to Liaoning on his way home in 1488, he described Suzhou in his travel report as exceeding every other city. Many of the famous private gardens were constructed by the gentry of the Ming and Qing dynasties. However, the city was to see another disaster in 1860 when Taiping soldiers captured the city. In November 1863, the ever-victorious army of Charles Gordon recaptured the city from the Taiping forces. The next crisis was the Japanese invasion in 1937. Many gardens were devastated by the end of the war. In the early 1950s, restoration was done on gardens such as the Humboldt Administrator's Garden and the Lingering Garden to bring them back to life. Administrative divisions. The urban core of Suzhou is informally called Old Town Suzhou. It is Gusu District. Suzhou Industrial Park is to the east of the Old Town, and Suzhou High and New Technology Development Zone is to the west. In 2000, the original Wu County was divided into two districts including Jiangcheng and Huazhong. They now form the northern and southern parts of the city of Suzhou. In 2012, the original Wujiang city became Wujiang District of Suzhou City. Suzhou is one of the most prosperous cities in China. Its development has a direct correlation with the growth of its satellite cities, including Kunshan, Taikang, Changshu, and Zhangjiagang, which together with the city of Suzhou form the Suzhou Prefecture. The Suzhou Prefecture is home to many high-tech enterprises. Geography. Suzhou is on the Lake Tai Plain south of the Yangtze River, about 100 kilometers to the west of Shanghai and just over 200 kilometers east of Nanjing. Climate. Suzhou has a four-season, monsoon-influenced humid subtropical climate with hot, humid summers and cool, cloudy, damp winters with occasional snowfall. Northwesterly winds blowing from Siberia during winter can cause temperatures to fall below freezing at night, while southerly or southwesterly winds during the summer can push temperatures above 35 degrees Celsius. The hottest temperature recorded since 1951 was at 41.0 degrees Celsius on 7 August 2013, and the lowest at -9.8 degrees Celsius on 16 January 1958. Main sites. Garden Suzhou is famous for its classical gardens, collectively a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Humble Administrator's Garden and Lingering Garden are among the four most famous classical gardens in China. The Kanglang Pavilion, Lion Grove Garden, Humble Administrator's Garden and Lingering Garden, respectively, representing the garden styles of the Song, Yuan, Ming, and Qing dynasties, are called the four most famous gardens in Suzhou. Other gardens inscribed on the World Heritage List include the Couples Retreat Garden, the Garden of Cultivation, and the Retreat and Reflection Garden. The Tiger Hill is a popular tourist destination and is known for its natural beauty as well as historical sites. The hill is so named because it is said to look like a crouching tiger. Another legend states that a white tiger appeared on the hill to guard it following the burial of King Helo of Wu. The hill has been a tourist destination for hundreds, if not thousands, of years, as is evident from the poetry and calligraphy carved into rocks on the hill. Famous Song dynasty poet, Suzhou said, "It is a lifelong pity if having visited Suzhou you did not visit Tiger Hill Temples." Shan Temple is a Buddhist temple and monastery in Suzhou. It is near Fengqiao, about 5 kilometers west of the old city of Suzhou. The Shan Temple is famed in East Asia because of the well-known poem, A Night Mooring Near Maple Bridge, written by Zhang Ji, a poet of the Tang dynasty. This poem describes the bell of Shan Temple ringing at midnight, and beautifully captures that moment of consciousness. The Yuan Temple, built in the Yuan dynasty, is the largest Buddhist temple in Suzhou. It consists of two major parts, the Temple of Jizhuanglu and the West Garden. It is close to the Lingering Garden, which was originally called the East Garden. Shan Miao Temple is a prominent Taoist temple with a long history, located at the center of Old Suzhou City. The street along east-west direction in front of the temple is called Guangqian Street, a famed business pedestrian street in Suzhou. Canals within the city of Suzhou. There are areas featuring canals. Both 800-year-old Pingzhang Road and 1,200-year-old Shantang Street are on the list of China's National Historic and Cultural Streets, and both feature elegant bridges, flowing waters and unique architecture. Shantang Street runs for 7 li, and was called Beigongdai in the past, when Bai Juyi, a famous poet of the Tang dynasty, was mayor of Suzhou. He got the people to dig ditches and build roads. They developed a waterway, the Shantang River, and Shantang Street to connect Tiger Hill with Suzhou. Then the street gradually became a popular tourism resort with Wu characteristics and plenty of ethnic customs. Suzhou Street, in Beijing's Summer Palace, was built as an exact copy of Shantang Street for Empress Dowager Cixi of the Qing dynasty for her amusement. The street has old temples, ancestral halls, memorial arches, and guild halls, which retain their original style, with a sense of variety. In June 2002, Suzhou began a restoration project to make Shantang a historical and cultural protection zone, and the first phase of that project has been completed. The reconstruction work centered on restoring the traditional style, integrated with tourism and entertainment to display Shantang's rich heritages and the waterways, in typical Suzhou style, and the folk customs with Wu characteristics. Pingzhang Road is in the northeastern part of Old Suzhou on a 116.5-hectare area, which has a 2,500-year history and the best-preserved cultural protection zone of Old Suzhou. Throughout history, many literary scholars, high officials, and members of the nobility lived in the quarter. It is an open district consisting mainly of residential buildings, and its true value lies in the traditional style of living. The Pingzhang Quarter is part of the historic, cultural area of Old Suzhou and has been in existence for 1,000 years, maintaining the style of the Song dynasty. It is a portrait of water and land, and rivers adjacent to the streets, and a good example of the waterside towns south of the Yangtze River with their small bridges overflowing streams, and whitewashed walls and black tiles. The cultural heritage and landscape are exemplified in places such as Yuyuan Garden, a World Cultural Heritage Site, and the Kung Opera Museum, a cultural heritage exhibit of Kung Opera. There are 9 cultural relics protection units, 43 pieces of architecture under protection, and a multitude of early architecture, classical bridges, wells, and memorial archways. Others. Suzhou Taihu National Tourism and Vacation Zone is in the western part of Suzhou, 15 kilometers from downtown. Lake Tai has historically been considered a place of great natural beauty. Gate to the east, built as a symbol to Suzhou's prominence in China, is in Suzhou's central business district. Pan Gate is on the southwest corner of the main canal or encircling canal of Suzhou. Originally built during the Warring States period in the state of Wu, historians estimate it to be around 2,500 years old. It is now part of the Pan Gate Scenic Area. It is known for the 3 landmarks of Pan Gate. They are the Ruoguang Pagoda, the earliest pagoda in Suzhou built in 247 BC, the Wu Gate Bridge, the entrance to the gate at that time over the water passage and the highest bridge in Suzhou at the time, and Pan Gate. The Ruoguang Pagoda is constructed of brick with wooden platforms and has simple Buddhist carvings at its base. Pagoda Bridge stretches across the Daitai Lake in the suburbs of Suzhou. To raise money to finance the bridge, the magistrate donated his expensive belt, hence the name. The bridge was first built in 806 AD, in the Tang dynasty and has 53 arches with a length of 317 meters. It was made out of stone from Jinshan Mountain and is the longest standing bridge of its kind in China. Its delicate design and beautiful surroundings make it as a precious belt hovering over the river town. The bridge was included on the list of national monuments in 2001. Yunyan Pagoda is a Chinese pagoda built on Tiger Hill in Suzhou. It has several other names, including the Leaning Tower of China and the Yunyan Temple Tower. The tower rises to a height of 47 meters. It is a 7-story octagonal building built with blue bricks. In more than 1,000 years the tower has gradually slanted due to forces of nature. Now the top and bottom of the tower vary by 2.32 meters. The entire structure weighs some 7 million kilograms, supported by internal brick columns. However, the tower leans roughly 3 degrees due to the cracking of 2 supporting columns. Baisi Pagoda or North Temple Pagoda is a Chinese pagoda at Baoyan Temple in Suzhou, Jiangsu Province, China. It rises 9 stories in a height of 76 meters. It is the tallest Chinese pagoda south of the Yangtze River. Twin pagodas are the 2 pagodas lie in the Dingui Temple Lane in the southeastern corner of the city proper of Suzhou. They are artistic and natural as they are close at hand. One of them is called Clarity Dispensing Pagoda and the other Beneficence Pagoda, and they are in the same form of building. There are many legends about the 1,000-year-old pagodas. It is charming that the exquisite and straight twin pagoda look like 2 inserted writing brushes. There was originally a single-story house with 3 rooms, just like a writing brush holder, with the shadows of the 2 pagodas reclining on its roof at sunset. To the east of the pagoda is a square 5-storied bell building built in the Ming dynasty which is exactly like a thick ink stick. So there is a saying that the twin pagodas are as writing brushes while the bell building is ink stick. Well-known museums include the Suzhou Museum, Suzhou Silk Museum, and Suzhou Museum of Opera and Theatre. Demographics. The Industrial Bank of Korea estimated that there were 15,000 Korean persons in Suzhou in 2014. That year 850 Korean companies operated in Suzhou, and the Koreans made up the largest number of students at the Suzhou Singapore International School. Economy. Suzhou's economy is based primarily on its large manufacturing sector, China's second largest, including iron and steel, IT and electronic equipment, and textile products. The city's service sector is notably well developed, primarily owing to tourism, which brought in a total of RMB 152 billion of revenue in 2013. Suzhou's overall GDP exceeded RMB 1.3 trillion in 2013. The city is also one of China's foremost destinations for foreign investment, based on its relative proximity to Shanghai and comparatively low operating costs. The municipal government has enacted various measures to encourage FDI in a number of manufacturing and service sectors. Included among these measures is a preferential tax policy for limited partnership venture capital enterprises in the Suzhou Industrial Park. Development Zone Suzhou Industrial Park. The Suzhou Industrial Park is the largest cooperative project between the Chinese and Singaporean governments. It is beside Jinji Lake, which lies to the east of the Suzhou Old City. On 26 February 1994, Vice Premier Li Lanqing and Senior Minister Lee Kuan Yew represented China and Singapore respectively in signing the agreement to jointly develop Suzhou Industrial Park. The project officially commenced on 12 May in the same year. SIP has a jurisdiction area of 288 square kilometers, of which the China-Singapore cooperation area covers 80 square kilometers with a planned residential population of 1.2 million. Suzhou Industrial Park Export Processing Zone. The Suzhou Industrial Park Export Processing Zone was approved to be established by the government in April 2000, with a planning area of 2.9 square kilometers. It is in Suzhou Industrial Park set up by China and Singapore. Inside the export processing zone, all the infrastructures are of high standard. With the information platform and electronic methods, all the customs declaration and other procedures can be handled online. Investors can enjoy many preferential policies. Suzhou New District. The Suzhou New District was established in 1990. In November 1992, the zone was approved to be the national-level high-tech industrial zone. By the end of 2007, foreign invested companies had a registered capital worth of $13 billion, of which $6.8 billion was paid in. SND hosts now more than 1,500 foreign companies. Some 40 Fortune 500 companies set up 67 projects in the district.